Hello, I'm Nick Tumolo with Tumolo Financial. I am recording this month's Tumolo Talk, which I'm going to bring up right now. We're going to be talking about the retirement plan, building our retirement plan that gives you an advantage throughout retirement. Retirement planning, it's more than just the investments. Once you get to retirement, there's a few areas where you can look at to gain yourself an advantage. First one I'm going to talk about is, do I have enough to retire? How to get an advantage there. We want to make sure that we have enough to keep living our same lifestyle throughout retirement, no matter if the market's up or down. You want to have a plan to weather the storm. You work 30, 40 years during your work history, that once you get to retirement, you don't want to put traveling on hold. The big expenses, whether it's good or bad, maybe you need a roof on the house, good thing, like I said, travel, or even buying a new car. We want to keep living the same lifestyle in retirement. So we want to make sure that you have enough. And when Ken and I build out the plans, we like to build it out on more conservative basis so that we want to make sure that you have enough to keep living the same lifestyle in retirement. The next thing I'm going to talk about is tax strategies. Tax strategies is a huge way of saving money in retirement. Potentially, you can end up saving tens of thousands of dollars when we've built out these plans. And there's a couple of different ways. It could be anywhere from draw planning, where it depends on what you have in your accounts. We know Social Security is taxed differently. They call it provisional income. 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, 457s are all taxed at your full tax rate. Then you have the Roths, which they're not taxed at all. They're 0%, your principal and your growth. And then you have those non-retirement brokerage accounts where they're taxed by capital gains, dividends, and interest. And that can be anywhere from 0 to 20%. So depending on what you have in your portfolio, what type of accounts you have, there's a way of pulling all of them that you drive your taxes down enough throughout the long term. And when Ken and I build out these plans, we're looking short versus long term, because right now taxes are going to be different than maybe taxes 10 years now. We've seen tax laws change over the years. So we keep building out the plan, see what comes up. We know also that big expenses come up, life happens, things change. So we want to be able to build out the draw plan well enough year over year to give you an advantage. Another piece that we also see, if people saved all their money in 401ks, IRAs, 457s, and they're not spending the money as much, possibly there's going to be this big, they call it the tax bomb at age 73 or 75 now. If you've seen the Secure Act 2.0, where they changed the required minimum distribution age, that's when the IRS requires you to pull money out. Basically, what happens is once you turn 73 or 75, you can hit this huge tax hike. We want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Smooth out the taxes throughout retirement so that you don't have this big tax hike, and see if there's potentially ways of saving, like Roth conversions. You take money from the IRA, you pay the taxes up front. Let's say like this year, maybe you're staying in the same tax bracket. You're maybe putting 40, 50,000 in from an IRA to a Roth, pay the taxes this year, and then you never pay taxes on it again. And we want to make sure it makes sense for you and it gives you an advantage throughout the whole retirement. Another big thing is, when should I start Social Security? 62 versus 70. Where's my break even? Where does it make sense that am I going to have more money in my accounts later on down the line? It depends on the person. And sometimes it depends if there's a single or a couple. Maybe we're holding off on one of them in case someone ends up passing away earlier, that we're kind of using that as a life insurance type piece, where one social is going to be higher than the other. And if someone passes away, the higher one goes to the widow. So we want to be looking at every single piece of it on Social Security. And the biggest piece people miss on Social Security sometimes is taxes too, where if you start taking social earlier, your tax rate possibly will be lower in the long term. So we want to look at everything. So Social Security, it depends on the situation. I want to stress that. So it might make sense for some people to pull early, and it might make sense for some people to pull it later. Last piece I'm going to cover is estate planning. Estate planning, it's a big piece because we know in the state of Connecticut, if you end up in a nursing home at 90, 95 years old, everything in the state of Connecticut, your 401ks, your home, your Roth, any type of money that you have, assets, could go to the nursing home. And we know nursing homes cost about $14,000 to $15,000 a month in the state of Connecticut. So we want to protect things a few different ways. We can gift kids earlier or gift charities. And as long as there's that 5-year look back period, that money will be protected. We can also have irrevocable trusts, and you got to make sure it's irrevocable to make sure that that also has that 5-year look back. You start putting assets in, start putting the home in, putting chunks of money in it year over year. And the only catch on that is you cannot put IRA or 401k money. You have to actually pay the taxes first. So we want to make sure to protect as much as we can going through your retirement years. And usually when we see trusts get built, we usually see it in the early 70s, just because we want to build a trend on you first and make sure that you have enough money to live your lifestyle throughout retirement. And the last way, it's costly right now, we're kind of monitoring it because we've seen better plans come out, is long-term care policies. And we've seen long-term care policies be a supplement to protect assets, because you're paying into it right now. And then when you go into a nursing home 90, 95, they're going to pay a certain amount of money each month so that it doesn't have to come out of your accounts. So a few different ways of protecting assets. So when we build out this plan, this is what we like to show our clients. We want to present basically, our client's going to run out of money. In this situation, Bob and Sue, they end up saving some money and they have some estate planning issues. Is that going to happen? Are they going to have a big tax issue where you're going to see in column 7, they jump up from 6% to 17% in taxes? We want to be able to look at those things year over year to make sure that we can smooth out, like I said, smooth out tax strategies, look for those estate planning issues to protect assets later on, and basically give you an advantage. Here's how we can help. So you can always give us a call, 860-650-3005, set up an appointment with Ken or I, or you can just call us and answer a few questions about this month's Tumolo Talk. We do run the Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup complimentary, so just give us a call if you have any questions. We also do additional Tumolo Talks every month. So you might see me a little bit more on, you might see Ken, and I know my wife, Alyssa, has done a Medicare one. So thank you for everything and hope you enjoy.